Welcome back, McFly subscribers. We're finishing up this beginner fly series with the saltwater fly I recommend, the Redfish Crack. This fly is about as simple as it gets for a saltwater fly, yet is extremely effective. We will get into the tutorial very soon, but in case you haven't seen this channel before, this is McFly Angler.
Starts now.
Okay, let's start tying. Place the hook securely in your vise. For a hook, I'm using Risen's stainless saltwater hooks that they call O'Shaughnessy in size 1, and they should be paired with the Dumbell eye. And these Risen dumbbells are all brass, and I'm using the 4.8mm to pair with that size 1 hook. These hooks are stainless, so they will work great for saltwater. They have a fairly long shank, a bend similar to a sprout bend, and a very thick and strong wire, which will help us pull in these powerful redfish. Also, it has a straight eye. Risen dumbbells has eyes on the end. Now, these eyes aren't needed necessarily, but that's how they come, so I'm going to use them. We will also need some thread, and today I'm using Veevus 140 power thread in brown. This is a flat thread, however, it's extremely strong. By the way, I pretty much exclusively use Veevus because I think it's the best thread on the planet, and I want you all to be able to experience tying with it. So I worked out a deal for you all through Veevus, and you can even get an awesome free bobbin holder. More about this deal will be at the end of this video. Start your thread right behind the hook eye, and bring your thread down to about 1/3 of the way down the hook shank. Cut off the waist, and then come back to just shy of the hook eye, and then go back down halfway between your wraps. This will lay a thread base for the Dumbell eyes to rest on, and we want about 2 hook eye lengths back from the hook eye. Okay, let's tie the dumbbells in where the thread ended with an X wrap. This is where we go over the eyes one direction, and then come back going over the other direction. Now we will make multiple wraps over the eyes one direction. In this case, I'm making 6 wraps, and then do the same number of wraps going the opposite direction. Adjust the eyes so they're not canted to one side, and then we will make some under wraps. To do this, go under the eyes on both sides, and then pull tight. And make 3 to 4 more of these wraps to really hold these eyes in tightly. Now bring your thread down to the bend of the hook. By the way, you should probably cement the eyes here with either super glue or a thin UV resin to really ensure that they will not spin at all. But if you forgot, like me, we can do this later. Now for the tail. And we will be using Extra Select craft fur in brown. By the way, craft fur comes in many different colors, and you can get creative and tie these in whatever color you want. As you can see, I use the sand color often, and it's almost out of both packages. But really, these come in every color under the rainbow. However, you want to make sure that you're using the Extra Select craft fur. This black swatch here is regular craft fur that I got at a craft store, and you can see the fibers are about half the length of the Extra Select stuff. Okay, let's separate out a large clump of fur, and you actually need more than this. Cut it off the swatch, then pinch halfway up the clump and pull out the short fibers and underfur. I find that the taper is just a bit too much with this, so I pull out the extra long fibers and replace them back in so that the tips are even, which gives me a more bulky look to the tail. However, I do need more, so I'm going to grab another clump and do the same thing. Do yourself a favor and just cut more to begin with, so you don't have to do it twice. Measure this out so it's about 2 hook shank lengths, then tie it in at that measurement at the rear of the hook with a couple tight wraps. Then tie this up to the hook shank. However, it's difficult to wrap material in going up, so I pull back the fiber and spiral wrap up the hook shank, then tie this in right behind the Dumbell eyes, and then tie downward. And now we can cut off the excess. While not necessary, I like to bar the tail, and a colored Sharpie will work perfectly. You could use higher end markers like these ad markers, however, they're pricey, and you can buy a multi-pack of different color Sharpies for the same price as 2 of these ad markers. To bar the tail, make stripes on either side like this, trying to make the bars the same distance apart. Now we need some silicone legs. I personally like to use silicone legs that are two-tone, but solid colors can work also. Alternatively, you could buy bass jig skirts for inexpensive on Amazon, and they work really well also. If using these silicone legs, we will need 3 of them. So separate out 3 legs, then fold in half. Now tie these in near the hook point mark, and then spread these out so that there are 3 on either side of the tail, making a total of 6 legs. Tie them down to the start of the tail, Then cut them to your desired length. I like them to be about a hook gap shy of the end of the tail. Now we need something called a brush, which is a material spun in between a wire core. Here is one that I made that has a little rubber legs in it mixed in. I have made a few videos showing how to make these brushes, and I will link below to one of them if you want to make your own. Or you can buy brushes online as well. However, they're kind of expensive, but either way, you will want to pull off a little fiber from the end of the brush and tie in a bare wire down to the start of the tail. Then bring your thread up to just behind the dumbbell eyes. And by the way, I will show you how to tie these without the use of the brush later in the video. Now we will start wrapping this brush around the hook shank, stroking back the fibers with each wrap. When you reach the dumbbell eyes, bring your thread up past the dumbbells, and then pull the brush forward under the dumbbells, and then capture the brush with 2 tight wraps. However, the thread will capture too much fiber, so it's a good idea to use a bodkin to separate out the fiber slightly, so you can wrap on bare wire. Then pull the brush rearward and tie back up over it. Now we will need some wire cutters to cut the brush off. Now don't use your good scissors for this, as you're cutting wire here. Okay, once cut off, stroke back the fibers and wrap up and down the head here to clean it up and form a medium-sized head on the fly. Then whip finish from back to front. We should now pick out the brush fiber, especially if you use one with rubber legs. Some of these fibers will get trapped, and picking it out will also help release any trapped fibers. Then stroke back the fiber so it lays nicely on the body. I have a few fibers up near the whip finish here, so I'm going to use a lighter to burn them off to smooth out the head. Now let's cement the head, and for that I'm going to use Solarez Ultra Thin. It's a UV resin with a handy paintbrush in the cap. Stroke back the fibers, and then paint a little over the whip finish and on the eyes. If we used this on the eyes earlier, we will only have to cement the whip finish. Okay, cure this with the UV light to harden it. Then turn the fly around and do the same thing on the underside. And there we have it, the finished Redfish Crack. This fly is so easy, yet extremely effective for a wide range of saltwater fish. While specifically designed for redfish, it will work for just about any saltwater fish that eat shrimp or crabs. The rubber legs hang down looking like shrimp legs, or even crab claws, and they sit on the bottom, angled up slightly like this, which is more visible to the fish. You can also swim this as well, which makes it look like a darting shrimp trying to escape. Okay, let me show you how to tie this without the brush if you can't make your own and don't want to buy the expensive brushes. Most of this will be the same, so I'm going to fast forward to the body section. Except I want to show you that you can cement the eyes once they're tied in. Also, I'm going to be tying this in a black and purple color scheme. You can get creative and tie these however you want, and I mostly fish a brown or tan one to mimic the large brown colored shrimp where I fish for redfish. But light pink or dark colors like this one here, or even bright colors can work as well. And keep in mind that these work for more than just saltwater fish as well. Tie these up for bass, and a brightly colored one can work great for smallmouth. Okay, now for the body. If you don't want to use a brush, you will need to make something called a dubbing loop. Wrap the thread around your finger, and then double it up like this, wrapping around the hook shank. Then over the loop that you created, and tie this down to the tail. Put a dubbing twister on like this, and then I like to loop one side over the screw on my vise to hold it open. Now we need some material for the dubbing loop. I really like this stuff called Kraken dubbing, which can be bought at Fly Tier's Dungeon. It has little rubber legs mixed in some flashy fibers, so pull some out, place it in the loop, pull out more, and place that under the last bunch, and basically we're stacking the fiber into the loop. How much you add is dependent on how bushy you want the fly and the length of the hook shank. Once you have your desired amount, then pinch the loop right behind the dubbing and spin the twister. And it's a good idea to grab something to protect the rubber legs from getting trapped. But when you let go, this loop will spin, creating a dubbing brush. Keep spinning a few more times to make sure the fiber is held tight. We will now need to pick the brush out so the fibers are sticking out rather than wrapped around. And this method does add a lot of time to this fly and is much quicker with a pre-made brush, but this is an option for you if you so choose. Once picked out, then we can use it just like we did with the brush on the earlier fly. Wrap around the body, capture the loop, trim it off, clean up the head, whip finish, pick out the body, burn off any fibers trapped at the head, and then cement. And there we go, the finished Redfish Crack using a dubbing loop rather than a brush. Again, this adds extra steps and turns a super quick and simple fly into something a bit more difficult and longer to tie. However, it is still a very quick fly to tie compared to many other, more complicated saltwater patterns. Like I said, these can be tied in many different color combos. Here is an electric chicken color scheme that will work amazingly for smallmouth. However, where this fly really shines is in shrimp and crab colors, fishing for redfish. And don't let its simplistic nature fool you, it is extremely effective. In fact, this fly has caught me more redfish than any other fly pattern. It can mimic a shrimp or a crab, two of redfish's favorite foods. But it can also even mimic a small baitfish when stripped in, rather than bouncing off the bottom. It is rather simple, so it's great for beginners to tie. And last month I showed you how to tie the clouser minnow, another simple and great pattern for the beginner saltwater fisherman to learn to tie. And I said that would be the perfect pattern for the very first saltwater fly to tie. However, it's really a toss-up for me between the clouser and the Redfish Crack. Both are equally easy, and both are equally as effective. So you should definitely give this Redfish Crack a try. Okay, well this will wrap up this month's beginner fly pattern series. Here I showed you 4 flies that I recommend for the beginner to try, one in each category of fishing. I started the series off with the hare's ear nymph, a super simple and effective pattern that has been around for a very long time, yet it is still as effective today as it was a couple centuries ago. Next I showed you how to tie the rabbit leech, a very simple and easy freshwater streamer that many fish cannot resist. And last week I showed you how to tie the GFA hopper, which is one of the easiest dry fly patterns out there to tie, yet it is impossible to sink and is also very effective, especially during the summers. And finally I showed you this Redfish Crack. Check back next week as I plan on starting a new series for you all, and this series will be on crayfish flies. And I will start that series off with a simple crayfish that works amazingly, but I will show you some more really awesome looking and effective crayfish patterns later in the series. So make sure you're subscribed and click that bell notification so you don't miss any future videos like this simple crayfish. By the way, I sell those fly boxes that you saw earlier, and these are double-sided with enough room to hold even large streamers. They have a strong magnetic clasp in them that closes almost every time you drop them. They're also made entirely of foam, so they float, and this means you will not lose your entire box when you accidentally drop them in the water. I also sell other awesome fly boxes and hats as well, and your purchase helps support this channel, helping me keep the lights on so I can continue making videos like this. I will put a link to my Amazon storefront in the description section of this video if you're interested in picking up some of my gear. Now, as promised, I want to share that deal with you that Veevus has offered. Veevus offered something called a VIP program. For $99, they will give you 10% off their entire store, and they sell more than just thread. A $120 gift card to use in their store, which is basically like getting a free $20, and a free shirt. However, if you click the link in the description section of this video, they will throw in an awesome bobbin holder as well. If you don't want to sign up for that VIP program, you can still get 10% off of any order just by clicking that link below. Also, check out my sponsor, Risen Fly. They made the hooks I use today, but they also make some awesome fly rods and other gear at amazing prices. They're offering you all 15% off your first order with them, so just type in McFly at checkout for that discount. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, do me a favor and click the like button. Also, if you could share my videos with all your fishing friends, I would really appreciate it. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.